You had the opportunity to see part one of the Alexander show. You'll see that the show kind of took a twist. We were featuring old camps and their traditions, but we found out that our families were tied together by a lost knife that my father had lost back in the late 50s, early 60s. So as the story goes on, we finished that broadcast and did the first episode. And we're going to show you a couple clips of it and kind of wrap it up on what happened on trying to find my dad's knife. A couple months had went by after the broadcast, and Pat thought she had located the knife. Now, we'll never be 100% sure if it is, but I know enough about the way my dad sharpened a knife and what he carried. He always carried a pocket knife, not a straight blade. He had an experience with a straight blade that scared him, and he always carried a pocket knife. But the way the knife was sharpened was the key to it. And I wrote a small book that's called Lost Found that tells more about it. If you want more details on this whole adventure, feel free to reach out to Tom, Bob, or go up to Lakeview, or give us a call, send us a text, and we will definitely get you a book. But back to the story. So a few months had gone by, and I see the Alexander's truck pulling in, and they presented me with a knife that we thought may be my dad's knife that he left many, many years ago on the hillside on the rock that he always told me about. So you can imagine how overwhelmed I was and just kind of dumbfounded what to say. And even if it wasn't my dad's knife, what it represented, bringing all of us together, and the storylines and connections and some of the spiritual things that we felt had happened during that period and up to current time, it was amazing. It was just a really cool deal in my terms. So that same fall, Charlie and Gary had been bow hunting over on their property and stopped by and said, hey, we had a couple bear encounters, and if you guys want to go over there and hunt, I'll give you a pass on our right of way, and you can go over there and maybe try to get yourself a bear. So we went over and scouted that evening, and lo and behold, bears came in, and it was looked like a great place for us to have some fun and have an opportunity to harvest a nice black bear here in Pennsylvania. And I had never hunted bear much due to the fact we're usually whitetail hunting and filming. I mean, most of my life I've spent behind the camera, and it just wasn't something that always was available to me to go black bear hunting. So Steve and I decided we're going to go over the next morning, and that's what we did. Well, it didn't take us long to see we weren't the only ones that knew about the bear, and there was bow hunting going on for deer also at that time, so it ended up being a little busy, and we just felt there was a lot of pressure over there, and we were just going to let it settle down for a little bit and then maybe go over later on. So Steve had basically went back home to take care of some business, and I stayed up at Lakeview Store and did some things. And by the time Wednesday came, I started getting that itch again to get over and just get a read on what was going on over at their property over at the Alexanders. So I decided I'd just jump in the truck. I really didn't. I had my sneakers on, I had my blue jeans on, I had my muzzle loader, and just a few necessities, nothing major. And I was just going to go over and glass and look. Well, as most of you hunters know, things happen when you least expect it, and I got there and was glassing the side of the hill, and I could see black movement, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't turkeys, because those crazy turkeys have fooled me more than once in bear season. See black movement and you think it's a bear coming, but this was quite a ways away. It was a good half mile to 3/4 of a mile away, and so I do see the bear. I identify it as a bear. It comes into an opening and I see it's a bear. So now I have a lot on my plate. I have a feeling that I don't want to betray my buddy Steve, because we wanted to do this together. And I really wasn't prepared, didn't have my muzzle loader or anything, and I knew the wind direction, everything really was kind of against me. There was a lot of variables, but the more I looked at the bear and the more I seen his size, I thought, man, I better make my move. So long story short, I'd made my way up to the bear and actually shot the bear, and that started the season off for the Triple Crown. And it was really nice because as the story grew, I probably shot the bear within yards of where my dad stood and lost his knife. Now, I'm not saying it was right beside where he had left his knife, but it was within yards of it, for what we know. I thought I had great bear footage because I had put my GoPro on my camera, or on my gun, and with all the excitement going on, I didn't turn it on near as often as I thought. So I kind of blew that. And it was such a great hunt, I couldn't wait to get back to see it, but there was just bits and pieces, nothing broadcast worthy. So it's still nice to know at 60 years old you can still get excited and forget what you're doing when you're hunting like that. That's the whole deal, I guess, is the excitement. We had seen some bear over here, and lo and behold, last night while I'm scouting with no cameraman, just poking around, I had some bear come out, and I took a shot at the one. I think I was bared down on him good, and I think I hit him, but it was late, and I didn't want to chase him or push him, not knowing. Again, we're hunting with muzzle loaders, and they're not probably quite as effective. They're kind of like a bow. Sometimes you just need to let the animal go and expire. So, and it was just quite an experience. I had to sneak up through a bunch of brush to get there. I spotted him about 500 yards away, 600 yards away, and made my way through. And then I had some bear experiences after I shot too then. So I don't know what to think yet, but it's just kind of funny how life works. And here I sit, and back in the late 50s, my dad was hunting this same ridge a long way away from home. So, you know, it's pretty cool how life goes sometimes. Boy, was I excited about that bear. That was a dream come true, and just the setting and the backdrop of the whole storyline with the Alexander family and my dad, that was quite an experience I had that day. That's a hunt I won't forget.